Welcome to the podcast. I'm Melissa Westbrook, writer, painter, teacher, and mom of 4.
And I'm Bryn Barano, author, international education professional, and mom of 1.
And I'm Katie Moody, former teacher of photography, graphic design, video, and current full-time parent of 3 kids.
We're not quite losing it. 3 creative friends coming together to share some laughs, inspiration, and advice to help you feed your creative spark when the responsibilities of life and parenting are threatening to snuff it out.
Welcome back, everyone, for episode 10, I believe, of Not Quite Losing It. We're in the double digits, people.
Double digits.
That feels significant in a way. We are back for another week, and this week we're going to be talking about creative failures. Before we get into it, let's do our weekly check-in, lost and found. Melissa, let's start with you.
Well, I had 2 positive querying things this week. I had an agent who has my full manuscript say, I still have it, I'm still reading, I'll be back in touch soon, which is nice. And then it is
good because they could just say no. If they started and didn't like it, they can and they would say no.
Yeah, so that felt exciting. And then one of my dream agents, who's the agent for an author I really respect and that you have probably heard of, reached out and wants the full manuscript. So that was very exciting.
That is so exciting. That's so exciting.
Really, really fun.
Yeah. And then also I got lice and my car got stolen. Actually, my husband's car got stolen.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Wait. Okay, I didn't know about the lice too.
Yeah,
oh my
I mean,
God.
we get lice not infrequently in the last couple
boys.
years, so it's just like not that big a deal. I have all the stuff, and
If you've never seen, there's a lady named Naptime Kitchen. Her name's Kate, and if you've never seen her like funny videos about her and her family getting lice, this will be cathartic for you. Like,
okay,
you need to
I'll
watch it.
It
She's hilarious.
This is a lot of hair to treat for lice.
I was just literally, all I could think of was the curl patterns when you were sick, and the little comb. Oh my heavens.
That's fine.
Yeah, and then the stolen car.
It's
You didn't bury the leads with your update, because the positive things about your book writing, that was certainly the lead, but like you buried the drama.
Well, there's just always drama. There's always drama.
Yeah, I mean, you're just trying to like diversify from ER visits.
That's right. Sometimes you need to throw in a little bit like felonies and
bugs and police.
Bugs and police. Welcome to Atlanta.
Welcome to
Bugs and police. Welcome to the ATL.
I don't know where we're going from there, but as the other
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm from here, by the way. I love my hometown.
Same.
Yes. So yeah, Bryn, I'm gonna let you transition us from there to whatever your week was in Atlanta.
So I feel like I can't say I lost anything because in comparison, I mean, I got a flat tire. Like, that's it. Okay. Like, that's nothing in comparison. I got a flat tire.
Portion of a car.
I mean, from time of noticing flat tire to having it patched and back on my car was 3 hours. So really, it wasn't that bad. But it was the first flat tire of my life.
Wow.
I will say that. 43 years old. I've never had a flat tire. I did not recognize the sound. It's a good thing my husband was in the car because I was just driving along going, it feels a little funny.
That's a weird
and
sound.
He's like, that sounds like a flat tire. We need to stop. And we were right by where we were going to pick up lunch, so we just pulled in the parking lot, and then I just hung out and searched like auto repair places while my husband and a kind Samaritan actually changed the tire.
Hey, this whole thing is giving Joe and Rafa.
It really is. I was doing the research, and he's like at the tire. Like, but fortunately for we had a good Samaritan, because there was a tire lock. And that was not something I knew about. And my husband has changed plenty of tires, but it's been many, many years. And in Brazil, and he did not know what a tire lock was. So this kind of, shoving, it keeps people from stealing your tires. It like locks onto the nut of the hubcap. So the key was in the glove compartment. If anyone is ever looking for a tire lock, check
it's in Bryn's glove compartment.
It's in Bryn's, my glove compartment. So I learned a little bit, found a good, reliable tire repair place close to my house. So, I mean, it was a problem, but a lot of good came out of it.
Yeah.
So,
not bad.
Yeah, Mel, that was not a great follow-up to yours.
Sorry. I'll try to be more boring next week.
I don't know.
I'll try real hard.
I certainly have nothing on that scale whatsoever. I have been on a Facebook Marketplace tear, which, I mean, I feel like anybody that's been following along that doesn't know me has picked up on the fact that I love a good Facebook.
Is this like a 6-year-long tear or?
Yes. No, but it's not, I get kind of like in spurts of, I don't know, if the algorithm is like really honed in, man, or if I just get really inspired by something that I see that I'm like, oh, I could picture that in my house. Like, let me go get it. It's just always a bit of, and if you give a mouse a cookie kind of situation.
Yeah, if you get one thing, then something needs to go with it. And then something with that.
Exactly. And when it comes to our home, I'm just the worst about if you give a mouse a cookie type scenarios. And I drag my poor husband and family into the whole thing and whatever. But I justify it to myself because of the whole idea of like, I have to keep myself happy in this home because we cannot afford to move anywhere else. And so I'm like, well... $100 on some custom curtains from some old lady's house in Alpharetta, it might have set me back $100, but I mean, think how much more it would cost us to move, which is, there is a certain logic to it.
Just a little, yeah. I think
it can be taken
call that
much
girl
too far, and then I have girl math, and then so I'll just get I get away from myself a little bit and then I have to reel it back in or just like totally shut myself and just not look at it at all. So I'm about to have to go cold turkey on Marketplace, but I've been having fun. So I did get some curtains, then I've been having fun like hanging them up and switching things around and getting toys out of the main floor of our house, and it just feels so good. I'm like, I'm like my best self when I'm like moving crap around in our house, like getting toys and clutter out of here. And then like freshening up decor in some way. I mean, it's embarrassing how good it makes me feel. But
can you come to my house and get rid of my clutter? It's literally my least favorite thing to do.
When I say get rid of, there's a reason I'm not down in my basement right now for this recording is because I can't look at it because that's where I shoved everything. So I don't know. Don't come to me for advice.
Out of sight, out of mind. If it stays in the basement, it's never a problem.
Exactly. And the basement doesn't have to exist at all times.
Okay.
You know, I can choose when I want to walk down there and like make that my problem with my husband by my side to help me because that's what's going to have to happen at this point. So there you go. So that isn't as nice of a transition. I should always let Melissa go last. I feel like Melissa is the great transitioner into our topic for the week.
Speaking of problems.
Speaking of problems. Speaking of failures.
Yeah.
Speaking of creative failures. Good one.
This is our topic for the week. So I think you don't get through life without having some failures, and then you can't really be a creative person and not have failed in some aspect. So I say we kick it off with our lists of things we have attempted and failed at. And I would say for me, some of it is like, you know, it wasn't necessarily a total failure, but like I moved on from it and I don't do it anymore really. And I have so many of those. Probably the biggest one that was just like a total failure was senior year art class, where it was just like the advanced art, and it was just me and this one other girl, Whitney, who was amazing. And our teacher just let us do whatever we wanted to do, and we wanted to do stained glass, but like the only materials that we could get were like the cheapest materials you could do for stained glass. And then of course I was too ambitious in what I wanted my design to be, and the whole thing was just a total fail, and we literally never completed We didn't even get to like the soldering, whatever, with the lead. We didn't even get to that point because we couldn't cut the glass. So that's my biggest, like, oh, it did not get off the ground at all. But I have lots of ones that were like semi-successes, like cake decorating and pottery, like throwing clay on a wheel. And oh my gosh, so many different random things like that. And now a lot of the things they've transitioned into, like, I make them useful in my life in some way. Like I paint kids party banners just for my kids, or like I'll make balloon arches but like just for my kids, or the cakes, like I'll still make cakes for my kids' birthdays, but I just do, like, I know enough to figure out how to do it as easily as possible for the biggest impact and call it a day. So
I'm sorry, Katie, I have to jump in. I thought we were talking about failures, because all I'm hearing is all of these things that you can and do. That is all I'm hearing.
Okay, so like on the failure front of it, like I made someone's wedding cake one time and then was riding in the car with it and didn't realize that there was like a slice of direct sunlight hitting, like through the window, hitting the cake. And so when we got there, like the whole side of part of this multi-tiered cake was just gone. And I had some extra icing, but I had not anticipated something of that caliber happening. So then at the venue, me and my mom, who drove, and my little sister, who was just pretty much along for the laughs, were just trying our best to put most of the icing that had literally melted, like peeled off of it, trying to put it back on the cake. Yeah, there's been a lot of stress in and out of some of these things. Okay, like, whoa, a wedding cake, people, a wedding cake.
That is a pretty big problem to have to solve on the spot. Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here thinking, like, what does it mean to fail at something? Because that was a pretty big, that very specific instant of cake decorating fail. But I feel like you still know how to decorate a cake, so I don't think it makes you a failure at cake decorating.
I've had a failure. Yeah.
You've had a failure. Like, I will say something that I have failed at multiple times, which is keeping a journal. Which, if you are a writer, people always tell writers, keep journals, keep your ideas. I cannot tell you how many notebooks I have with maybe 8 days worth of journaling, maybe 10, maybe I make it to double digits worth of pages. I have tried and started so many journals. Most recently, last October, I was like, bullet journaling. That feels, I don't even need to use complete sentences. That feels like something maybe I can keep up with. No, January, I think that got 2 months. It was November and December, and then I had January, and I got about 6 days into January and haven't done it since.
I didn't even think, I have the same thing with the, 3 or 4 pages in journals, whatever. I didn't even think to mention it, I think, because I failed so hard at that.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be this great thing. People say, like, oh, journaling is so good for you. It's something you should do. Like, grateful list, things you're grateful for at the end of the day. Also, writers, like, oh, you get your ideas. You're inspired. Like, get your thoughts out. Or in the morning, your morning pages. Never. Not once.
But you still written a bunch of books.
Right.
So I still wrote books.
Yeah.
So clearly it's not a necessity to finish a book.
I just thought of one that was, okay, Bryn, I guess you had already graduated, but senior year of high school, I wrote a play, and my theater department was so great about encouraging that, and we did a staged reading of it, and like rehearsed. It was the senior production that year. We had like all the seniors came together and did a staged reading, and we rehearsed, and it was so cool, and I was so proud. And like right before it came out, like we did our staged reading, this movie came out called A Walk to Remember, and it was like basically the same plot.
No.
And everybody, like anybody who came and saw the staged reading was like, oh my gosh, that was so cool how you like did your own spin on A Walk to Remember.
Oh no.
Oh my, that, I'm horrified for you.
Yeah.
That's so unfair.
It was so sad. Also, like looking back, it was like kind of a cringy plot, but I was very dramatic. I was
It's fine for high school. That's a perfect fit.
But Yeah, it was just such a disappointment. I'd been so excited and so proud, and then all the feedback I got was like, cool knockoff of
You
this
got the
really
rug pulled
popular
out from
thing.
under you.
Yeah.
By
That hurts my
freaking Mandy
heart.
Moore.
Yeah, I still have never seen the movie because I can't, like, why would I want to go see it after everybody being like, they did it, but better and first.
Wow.
So
That's a tough one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that has stayed with you.
Yeah, well, I haven't thought about it for years, and then just talking about this made me think about that. But that one was tough.
Yeah.
And I think some of my other most memorable failures are when I did try really hard at something and came close and then was rejected, or it was something I really wanted bad and did try and put myself out there and took a risk, and then it wasn't good enough. And those, like if I entered a thing into a contest and I made it into the, final round and then didn't get picked, those ones hurt a little more than just like not, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that there's ones like that it's like I didn't even think. And maybe that's where my brain goes, is that, well, I am very averse to failure. And maybe all my true failures I've suppressed so much that they don't even come to mind. Because as you're saying that, I'm like, oh, duh, my biggest failure was musical theater. Like, in doing community theater in high school, I kept auditioning to be in shows and kept getting cast as the stage manager. Because I was responsible and otherwise unremarkable in terms of talent, apparently. So, yeah, that was my biggest one, and that hurt.
Yeah.
Like, that really hurt. It was a little bit validating later in life when it was like one of the people I was doing theater with got nominated for a Tony. I was like, well, no wonder.
I couldn't compete with that.
Yeah. I mean,
that was the bar, but that was the bar.
Yeah, the bar. Yeah, then of course I wasn't clearing that bar. It was set way too high. I should have picked like a worse theater to try to be part of.
Yeah, truly.
But yeah, I'm like, I think
smaller
my
pond.
Smaller pond. And then Middle Georgia, which is not a big pond, guys. Not a big pond. So yeah, I think, oh my gosh, I bet that's so true that like a lot of my true failures, they don't even come to mind because I've shoved them down.
Right. Yeah,
And I think that's probably, I was going to say, because society, we are so hard on people who fail. Like, we are taught that failure is a bad thing. I think we're still taught that failure is a bad thing. I see it in my daughter when she tries. She'll get one question wrong on a test. She thinks she has to make 100 on everything. Like, be perfect. I'm like, perfect is literally not possible.
Right.
Like, you will get things wrong. And I don't know where she internalized that from, just existing in the world as a human.
Yeah.
And we internalize failure
Definitely.
is a bad thing.
Definitely she didn't get any of that from her mom.
I don't know what you're talking about, Melissa. I don't know. But on that point, I was very much like her. And it took me querying 3 novels and being rejected over 200 times, having 2 novels that got shelved, like are just in my computer, will never see the light of day, before I finally got an agent on the 3rd one, the 3rd novel. And these novels were all written, revised, beta readers, revised again, then queried. And the first 2, nothing.
That sounds like exposure therapy.
That legitimately.
You went for the most savage
Yeah.
way of like, I'm going to do something where I will literally have to get rejected over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. And that whole thing, like, you can try as hard as you can and spend hours and still not get it.
Ouch.
That has been one of the biggest lessons from publishing. And I have tried to give that to my daughter because I know that's how I was. And it took me 35 years to learn the lesson of, it's better to try. I mean, in that you can survive failure. It'll hurt, but it'll hurt less. The more you do it, the less it hurts.
I think,
And
I want to talk about this. We keep saying like the ones that hurt the most are when you tried hard and like, and then it didn't work out. And I can think of lots of examples of my life when I failed at something, but I didn't care that much about it, or I didn't try that hard at it. And then it's not as big a deal, but it is so painful. Like, one of my biggest fears is to look like a try-hard. You know, I remember when it's like embarrassing to try hard and care, obviously, and then fail.
Yeah, this was a topic on Amy Poehler's podcast with Billie Eilish, where they were kind of talking about the Gen Z's relationship to that type of thing, to like things being chuggy or try hard or whatever, where they were like so anti that, and were like making fun of all of us millennials or Gen Xers or whatever for ever being chuggy or try hard or whatever. And then it's like they're all sort of collectively realizing that that being chuggy is actually the best part of life. Like, just loving something unabashedly and not being concerned about what other people think about it is sort of the point. And so now they're like,
why is loving something bad?
Yeah,
why are we shaming joy? I mean, that
so
seems to me, it doesn't seem unique to Gen Z or Gen Alpha. It seems like teenagers.
Too. Yes.
I think it's adolescence, honestly.
No, that's such a good point. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things about being 42 is like, I've been myself long enough to know who I am and what I care about, and to like not care that much. One of my favorite things is that like I recently in the last couple of years just started dressing whatever brings me joy. And I remember specifically in my 20s dressing like, I always wanted to dress weird because I'm a little bit weird. But I was afraid that if I tried to wear like quirky things, people would be like, well, she tried and fell short. And now I know my taste well enough, and I know my body well enough, and I know, the thrift stores well enough to be able to like put together outfits that are weird and quirky. And some of them are, looking back, I'm like, they're kind of weird. That delightful. One was maybe a little failed.
Every time I walk into the coffee shop and see you there, like, your outfits are the most charming and just
it's fun for me.
Delightful. Yes.
And I just don't care that much anymore. And I've gotten better at it, so I don't feel like I fail as often.
Yeah, I think that you were right, Bryn, about that's just adolescence. I think the thing with Gen Z is that they had a lot more internet access than any of the previous generations.
Yeah.
At that
cyberbullying.
So those voices were very loud. Like, even like their voices bullying all the rest of us was very loud. And then now
because you could post comments and then they're there forever. So you would document how many people were shaming you. I mean, it was just constant documentation of
and then
social media is the worst.
And then, Melissa, it's so funny, like, hearing you say that, because you and I used to accidentally match at work all the time. And so I'm like, oh, that's sad. Now we won't, I mean, I feel like
you'd have to try pretty hard to match me these days.
Yeah, because now
get a sweater vest. Get a sweater vest and you'll have a decent chance.
That's a start. Yeah, a sweater vest is a start. But I'm like, oh, we wouldn't match again. But I do think we have both like doubled down and like style wise for ourselves, and just in different directions.
We've grown apart in that way, Moody.
Yeah, I'm like, is that sad? I don't know.
No,
I loved our random matching. I always hated accidentally matching people until I would accidentally match with you. So my whole life, like, I would be like in elementary school fearful of accidentally matching some rando other girl. Like, if it wasn't on purpose, I didn't like it, but I always loved it with you. So
I bet we would match again if we started working together. You'd just one day be like, oh my God, where'd these polka dots come from?
Yeah, we would just like,
why am I wearing purple leggings?
Okay, so I'm like circling back to creative failure.
What I'm hearing, Moody, what I was just hearing from you is like, you really like to be in control of the outcome and what people are thinking. And I'm just wondering, I think if we try really hard, we risk negative feedback. And I think that is very, very scary.
Yeah.
Like, And so I want to ask you guys, what are things you would have tried if you weren't afraid of failing or getting negative feedback?
Oh, definitely like actually getting good at piano or guitar and writing songs. Like that would, even now, even saying that, I can feel my upper lip starting to sweat. Like that's how bad I am at like,
because you love
facing
singing. You're like
Yeah.
a musical theater person.
Yes, but yeah, I think somewhere along the way, some of it I swear is the patriarchy, but somewhere along the way, I definitely internalized some kind of notion that like my voice as like a woman's voice or a, you know, I can sing soprano, or I can sing alto, but definitely like any kind of sort of higher pitched like female head voice is annoying. That's what I've internalized, and that people don't want to hear that, which that may be true to a degree, that a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's also like there's no music that's for everyone, you know. And so there's all those voices that if I really kind of look at them objectively, I can tick off logically every reason why that should not bother me, but it's still some, you know, it's like still stopping me from doing it. Of course there's a lot of other things stopping me from, because getting good at something takes a lot of time and effort. I think I tend to just gravitate towards things that are like gonna take me less time to be decent at, you know. And so maybe I'm lazy, but I don't know. I'm good at letting all the other things in life get in the way of things like that, you know? Like, I just barely need any sort of hurdle put in front of me before I'm like, nah, I just won't. And then 10 years, 20 years goes by, and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have, like, spent this entire time playing piano a little bit every day, you know?
Now it's time for this week's Good Fight Spotlight, where we feature a creative mom who is fighting the good fight to keep her creative spark alive when the pressures of life and motherhood could easily snuff it out. Since today's episode is on creative failures, we wanted to make sure we featured a mom who is a success by every conceivable metric, including commercially, so that there would be no accidental assumptions made by the timing of this featured artist. Also a bonus if they have a good sense of humor about such things. And with that in mind, we decided to feature Mary Huggins' art, which showcases the gorgeous landscape paintings of Mary Huggins. Mary is an artist from Rome, Georgia, where she resides in her historic riverside home, the Moon River House, with her husband and 3 children. Creative through various avenues her entire life, including writing, photography, and interior decorating, Mary first started painting as a personal catharsis to fill her own home with original art. Painting quickly became a passion and obsession. Over the past 6 years, she has experimented with and evolved her methods to hone her unique style while studying under numerous professional working artists. She considers her art education self-curated rather than self-taught. You can now find her in the studio on a daily basis, creating commission work and seasonal collection releases. Though the journey to becoming an artist has been a winding and unconventional one, she is grateful and honored every day for the ability to tell a story through her art. Mary, I love you, your work, your family, and your home so much. You have been such a source of inspiration and hope for what life can be like on the other side of the tiny children years. Thank you for fighting the good fight and sharing your paintings with the world.
What about you, Melissa?
I've always loved drawing. I've always loved it. One of my creative failures that I still cringe about is when I was in 8th grade, I made a drawing of my cousin's baby who had just been born and gave it. I gave it to them.
Oh, I love this.
Y'all, it's not. It wasn't cute. I
mean,
like,
babies aren't super cute to draw. Like, they're just...
I tried really hard to like do a realistic drawing of a baby, and I like wrote a song lyric, but then later I realized that I misspelled a word on there. I used
Melissa, this is just
so I like, y'all, I was 13 years old and I still cringe about this when I think about it.
But I love little Melissa, though. I love her. I love 13-year-olds.
I was like, I know what they'll love. Is this really creepy drawing of their little baby looking like a zombie? But
I probably did love it, though.
I'm sure.
Have you ever talked to your cousin about this, like,
no.
later?
I'm too embarrassed.
You're both pretending it never happened.
No, listen.
They probably don't even remember. Or maybe they do. Maybe they...
Okay, this is your homework, Melissa, is that you've got to talk to this cousin about this. Because I can tell you from experience that when you have like a horribly awkward situation with a person that you have to see and neither of you address it for years and then you finally do talk about it, it is hilarious. Or it can be hilarious.
I'm just trying to imagine if I had been like a 26-year-old and my 13-year-old cousin brought me.
This is why we need her POV.
I really thought you'd like this. Look how ugly your baby is.
No, we need her POV,
like,
Melissa.
was it like a pencil?
Yes, pencil.
Like ink? Pencil. You just
Pencil.
penciled like charcoal, any shade, like just.
But I tried shading and...
Okay.
Anyway, so...
What if your cousin still has it? I mean, this is a
gosh.
gold mine, Melissa. Oh, my gosh.
I'll see what I can find out.
But doesn't a part of you, like, I hear that story and it is absolutely hilarious and I agree with Katie, but also I'm kind of like, man, I wish I was that confident and fearless nowadays.
Brave, yeah.
I wish I was.
Yeah.
Melissa's telling us from the other side of bravery that it's not worth it.
Yeah, don't do it. Just...
You'll have nightmares for years.
You'll never recover. Just don't try. Just don't try, you guys.
I'm not going to try and draw someone's baby
Okay.
in pencil.
You've got more sense.
Because they all look the same. You could just, like, actually trace any baby and it will look, they all look the same. We're talking like infant, right? Infant baby?
like newborn.
Newborn, right.
It was like
attractive.
It was like, you had a baby, here's a present. Okay, but then in high school, I wanted to take art class, but I was afraid that I would be bad at it and people would make fun of me. So I didn't sign up for that elective because I didn't want to do something I didn't want to take a class for a thing I wasn't already good at.
Right.
And like truly, that's why I didn't take it. And I eventually have found ways to make art even though I'm not particularly good at drawing. But what if I had learned how as a 14-year-old? What if I had taken an art class and found a way to express myself through visual art, and then I could have had that outlet 20 years ago?
If you could have tolerated being possibly one of the worst in the class for a few years, you would then be one of the best in the general population because you would have 4, 6, however many years of art to you.
Or even if I wasn't good at it, what if I had found that I loved it and found a way? Because now, like, I have my way of making art that I love and is beautiful to me, but I don't think anybody's ever looked at my art and been like, that's really technically skillful. But it's heartfelt and it is evocative because I think it's really honest.
Well, yeah, I think art class could have killed that before it ever
That's
happened.
true. That's true. Maybe it's better this way.
True.
Yeah. Well,
Depending on what teacher you get.
Yeah, and I do think there's not a ton of... I mean, we're looking back and laughing and cringing and at our past things, and I do think there is something to be said for, you just can't, and we've talked about this type of thing before, where it's like you can't make up for lost time. Like, that time is gone, so whatever has been, and it's kind of like, well, looking at the present or the future, what would we want to achieve? And I think we all agree that the real failure is just not trying. The real failure is never letting yourself get started because you're too fearful of being bad at something. And, we talked about in an early episode how trying, in terms of like the positive sort of emotional and mental feedback of doing art and doing something creative, the positive feedback and all of that is higher if it's something that you're trying that is brand new to you. Like if you can let go of all of the worry, the cringe, the outside voices, any of that, then you actually stand to really benefit in a really big way from trying new things. And so it's so worth it if we can get ourselves to that point. And I wonder how much other creatives, like, I feel like the three of us are very similar in some ways as far as how we would approach failure. Like we probably all grew up, making good grades and being perfectionists and all of that. But I don't think that's true for all creatives. So we're a little bit maybe not the best mix of sort of representing all sides there. But all of us.
I
mean,
wish
we all
need to bring in someone who didn't care about grades. I want to know what that experience was like, that they just blew off grade, like it didn't affect them. I've seen these people in the wild and they just sort of like shrug off, like the teacher calls their name and it doesn't seem to affect the rest of their day.
We could get my brother on here.
I don't know what that's like. I would love to
I don't
talk
have
to
a
him. I
single
want to know what
sibling
that's
who
like.
isn't just like me in this regard. So.
I want to know what that's like. Because I for sure, like, I mean, Melissa, I kind of like questioned you about it, but I know I did not sign up for things if I thought I would be bad.
Yeah,
I only wanted to be the best at whatever it was I was doing.
I always say that motherhood was such a shell shock for me because up until that point, I only did things I was good at. If I tried, like, I was lucky in that school was easy for me. And that's the thing. That was the only thing I had to do. Everything else was optional. And if I tried something and I wasn't good at it, I quit. Like I ran cross country for one season and I was okay, but I wasn't great. So I quit. And then I became a mom and I was like, oh, I'm not good at this just naturally, but I guess I'm going to power through.
There's no off season. You can't choose not to sign up the next year.
I'm going to learn what powering through a thing I'm not good at feels like. And it was hard.
Yeah, that's couldn't relate more, especially with something like learning nursing, It's like riding a bike where once it clicks, you're like, okay, we're good to go off to the races. It just feels like something you always knew how to do, but before that point...
I always was fine with my nipples bleeding. It's cool.
Yeah, before that point, I'm like, I remember thinking, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to learn. Because, I think I just, like, quit before things got that hard. Like, many times before.
I don't love that about myself. It's a thing I'm working on, but the like, oh, it's hard. Let me just go find something I'm good at and do that instead.
Well, and that's where, I'm not sure what is better there. Because sometimes, obviously there are some things in life that you just need to learn how to be good at, even though... some things you still have to do even if you're not good at it. But when it comes to creative pursuits, I don't know. There's definitely, it needs to be some balance there between like what makes you feel
I
good.
have to cook and feed my child no matter how bad I am at it. Right. She has to eat.
Right. But like how much stick with itness should we force on ourselves? We were talking about this a little bit earlier with creative pursuits. Like, if there's a creative pursuit that you don't enjoy, we were talking about this, Bren, for you were like, I would never pick up a,
paintbrush, colored pencils,
and make art because that's not fun for me. And I'm like, well, is it because it's not fun, or is it not fun because you're not good at it?
It's the chicken and the egg. It's a classic.
I don't know. Classic, because I remember being in school and not liking to draw. Right. Like when we had free time, I always went and read a book. Or maybe I wrote a little story, or I liked reading aloud, which was kind of like theater, but I did not like to draw. I did not like it. And looking back, I do think it's because I wasn't as good. So little 6-year-old Bryn did not gravitate towards it because there were other people who were better than I was.
Right. Yeah, like you had already internalized, this is not my thing because I'm not good at it.
And we often do that with kids, though, right? Don't we put kids in lessons and things they excel at? Not necessarily because they love it and it's their passion. Like we put them, we reinforce what their natural talent is rather than maybe what they love.
Yeah. Well, and we do it to ourselves too.
We do it to ourselves, yeah.
It is, we get lots of attention for the things we're good at, and that feels good. And so we want more of that.
Yeah. So part of me is like, is that really all that wrong? Or, I mean,
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. It's probably like everything else in life that there's some kind of balance that you're trying to strike between leaning into your strengths and continuing to sort of maximize and grow those things, but then also being open and willing to try without being to try other things, or try maybe it's like a tangent off of something you're good at, or so a slightly different route, or something that maybe not a completely new thing, but trying that, and then, you know, seeing where you get with it without being completely tied up in knots, miserable in the process, you know? Like, because I think all those times that I stopped myself before I even got started, like, I don't want to be that way completely, but I also don't want to spend all my time that I have. And a lot of what we talk about here is how limited our time is for these types of things. I don't want to spend my time always doing something that I feel bad at. So, yeah. So I think it's, you know, it's worth mulling over, I think, for each person. Like, if you have some kind of a goal that your heart is really set on, but your brain has always been holding you back from it, that would probably be worth like getting over the hump of being bad at it. But I wouldn't necessarily say you have to try something you're historically bad at just to try it, you know? So like with Bryn, I'm like, I don't necessarily think your life would be super improved by you trying to draw. But
I
I'm like,
appreciate
for
you
me,
saying that, Katie. I love that validation. I will not be
just trying to help you out, set you free there. But for me, I'm like, with music or playing piano or whatever, I'm like, no, I think this would be maybe I don't know why I always make these morbid references, but I'm like, okay, if this is the end of your life and you're about to die, like, is this something that you wish you would have spent time on or not? You know?
Yeah.
I think
like
that's the question.
Yeah, for you, Bryn, it's like, no, I don't care if I never drew.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Painting a picture, running a marathon, cooking lasagna from scratch. I will never regret not doing any of these things.
Yeah. And I think I would be sad if I never sort of relearned to play the piano, never wrote a song. I don't need to like record or publish or whatever, but I would just like to be able to play for my own self in my own house, you know, and have like a little repertoire of things. And like, I just want to be like a knockoff Sarah Bareilles in my own home, you know? That's pretty much, that would be. And if
that
at
is
the
a
end
good
of my
goal.
life,
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I think I would be really sad if I didn't do that. But golly, the thought of,
Sounds
I'll
like
just
your
literally
homework is to find a piano teacher who will visit your house.
But yes, but I'm also the one that's like, I want to learn how to sew curtains, and I want to do all the, you know, these things, and I'm like, oh wait, how do I prioritize the time? Like, what, you know, what does it land on?
I met a really cool lady a few years ago, and she was a visual artist, and she started taking cello lessons in her 70s because she just always wanted to.
Queen energy. Look at that. My great grandmother started painting in her late 70s, early 80s. And I mean, I can like look over in my house and see a painting that she did. Well, actually more than one, two, at least three from where I'm sitting that are hanging in just my house. And you think how many great grandchildren she has. And she didn't start doing that until late 70s, early 80s. And so, yeah, maybe that's a good thing for me to remember too, is that, I mean, obviously in life there is no guarantee of time ever, but if you're lucky enough to live and, you know, a long life, then you do have more time. And I eventually would have more hours at other stages. I might be a long way off from that, but yeah, maybe in future I won't have to be so picky and choosy.
Right now, I think it makes sense to grab the low-hanging fruit. Like, we always talk about the low-hanging fruit, and like what is easily accessible that's going to be satisfying and quick. And there will be times later when it's like there's room to explore more, but for this season,
low effort, high reward. And I think too, there's, you know, I do think, like, we've talked about a lot of things where it's like, okay, you may not can do the highest, best form of your art right now, but you can do something that's training your muscles, training your eye, training your artistry there. And so I do think there's little ways to train yourself out of fear of failure.
Yes.
And whether that's being like an absolute goober and dancing with your kids, or like making up like wacky songs on the spot with them and to make them laugh and things like that. Like I do so many things all the time right now to like make a fool of myself, and I lean into it and I enjoy it, and I that hasn't always been something I'm able to do even around family, you know. Like I used to. So I'm like, okay, well, I've made some progress, and I am doing little things here and there where it's like, okay, maybe I'm not achieving, you know, my biggest goal on that, but I am practicing here and there.
I think we also just need to keep in mind, yes, we have limited time and energy. We grab the low-hanging fruit, but don't forget, this is something I've always wanted to do. Yes. Don't put it on the back burner so long. Don't stick it in the back of the closet so deep that you forget it's there.
Right.
Which I go in my closet. I have no idea what's on the top shelf. Could not tell you. So, I mean, even if it's just buying some simple sheet music and you with your kid, like you just pluck out, I don't know, what's hot cross buns on the piano with them. Yeah. Just
I know,
to
and
like
that's
train
the thing
those
is
fingers.
Like, it's a piano. It's not in the back of my closet. I literally have to stare at it.
You see it every day. That's true. That is hard to forget the piano in your living room.
Yes, but I will. I mean, it's probably like metaphorical or something, and literal. But
is it covered in laundry?
It's covered in kids' toys a lot of time.
Oh, there's a metaphor there.
Yes, covered in dust, and I guess not covered in it, but like covered in dust and surrounded by kids' toys, like where it's like you can't even get to it because there's. And I cleared that out today. Literally got 4 bins and just threw a bunch of stuff in there and threw it in the basement. So like, I'm sorry to the basement. But I'm like, oh, I could actually sit
and play
at the piano tomorrow. So after I get my new curtains hung, obviously, to go with the piano.
Because then you'll have a little music studio over there. Yeah. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and I have thought about putting my oldest in piano lessons, and it would be really fun to do that together, you know, like where we both kind of emphasize it.
My kids were in piano lessons for like 30 seconds, and at one of the recitals they had in that 30 seconds, there was a mother and son who did their recital together.
Stop.
Because they both were taking piano lessons.
Oh my gosh. No, see, this just brought me back to the piano recital memory. And where I was so excited about it and I over practiced and then I absolutely just, I mean, choked at that recital. So,
and that's why you don't do it anymore, because of that one failure. I
mean, you're saying that as a joke, Melissa, but I'm like so for real right now. Like that was a huge, because that's up in front of all the people you know, and
they came to see you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like people make comments afterwards that you really didn't need, and
oh man,
yeah, and you're like 8 years old, so I mean,
okay, we'll talk about this. And
I know, where's Lauren?
I know,
where's therapist Lauren for me?
I have therapy tomorrow. I'll ask her.
Yeah, tell her. But think how redemptive that could be if Mike and I did that.
Yeah.
And we're like the mother son, whatever, because he's so much like me with the school and the wanting to make hundreds and all the things. So I'm like, oh man, could be good. Could be an opportunity.
I've been. I'm trying to transition us, and I'm
to the leaf snack.
Go.
I've been thinking about how sometimes our failures and our inabilities to do stuff kind of makes us find workarounds. Like we have to, like, here's this, it's okay, I fail at this thing, but I still want something on the other side of this failure. So if I can't do it this way, can I do it this way? Can I do it this way? And sometimes maybe that's fine. And maybe it's good to have these failures that make you try it a different way. And maybe we need to like not hate our failures so much. easier said than done.
I think that's true for you with your art, Melissa, because I think a lot of it, the heartfeltness of it and everything could have easily, if you had all those technical things in your brain this whole time, then I think some of that would have been counterintuitive to what you've been able to make.
Right.
So
I think our leave snack for this week is going to be make a brave attempt. Like whatever that looks like for you. If it's trying something you might fail at, or if it's trying something you're not sure you're good at, or even like, I don't know, what else could it look like?
It could be embrace Pictionary with the family, even though you know you will be the worst one in the game.
Or sign up for a class for a thing you've always wanted to know, even if you might be the worst one in the class.
Yeah.
That would be a big one.
Thinking about some of your failures and then deciding if there are any of them that are worth revisiting that at the end of your life you would regret not having tried again.
Yeah. Make a brave attempt.
We can do hard, scary things.
Yeah.
We can do hard, scary things. We can get rejected over 200 times and still do the thing.
We can show our love for our baby second cousin in horrifying drawings.
If you don't, that's yours. I'm serious. You've got to call your cousin. You've got to call your cousin.
I bet she just appreciated the laugh when they got back in the car, if nothing else. You gave her joy in some way. In some way, you gave a probably very tired new mom joy. So, be proud.
It was earnest. It was certainly earnest.
And that's important.
I've never lacked in earnest.
No, you haven't.
But that's
a strength,
like
not a weakness.
No, it's a strength. Caring is a strength.
Yes.
It's not chuggy.
I think I'm the chuggiest chug.
I know, but chuggy's in, baby. It's back
in.
The Gen Zs have set us free again.
Oh my gosh.
From the limits they were previously trying to put on us. So,
I remembered what I was going to say is that I also have always wanted to write songs. And I've been thinking about, like, surely I don't sing well. I just don't. I'm half my dad, who was in the Georgia Tech Glee Club, and half my mom, who was kicked out of the church choir. Like, I am right in the middle.
Are they allowed to do that at church? Oh my God.
They were like,
it's not a joyful noise unto the Lord, honey. You're gone.
Oh my God.
Bye. No, I have no idea. I've never heard of this happening, but
yeah. So, anyway, I have been thinking about, like, surely there are apps out there now where I could work around this failure I have and still make, write a song, write a melody, even though I don't sing or have any musical knowledge. But, like, I'll just do that thing I do and look at a thing that's interesting to me and think, how hard could it be?
Yeah.
Like,
that's gotten you to some great places in the past.
It has. It's gotten me also covered in tie-dye and lots of other weird things, but, how hard could it be?
You only fail truly when you stop trying. So go try. Write the song.
Yeah. Okay.
And tell us the things that y'all are going to try out there. Share it on Substack. And we can at least, I don't know, if you fail alone, you can hide it all from people. If you fail together, I think then there's opportunity for laughter.
Right?
And,
Yep.
So at the very worst, you can find something to laugh about. So let's share it together. So thanks for being with us.
Okay.
Thanks.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
We're not quite losing it. 3 creative friends coming together to share some laughs, inspiration, and advice to help you feed your creative spark when the responsibilities of life and parenting are threatening to snuff it out. Check us out every Tuesday, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and join the conversation on Substack as we remind each other that despite all appearances, we're not quite losing it.